okay? Because no matter what you do in a quick fix way, the body's physiology has got a new mechanism to regulate that. Therefore, no matter what you do, your body wants to pull you back to how you were. So as soon as you hit that, imagine, I always think of the Israeli fighter jets flying below the radar. As soon as they go up too high and the change is happening too quick and you hit onto the radar, boom, they get shot down. There's a mechanism that gets switched on that balances your body up, and you no longer will get the results that you want. You'll get the results that your body's going to bring you back to, okay? So Mini Habits works from both a neurological point of view and a physiological point of view, okay? But, like I said, I'm here to tell you guys 4 simple steps on how to walk out this door and do it literally today. And I did this with Belle. We literally had a 1-hour conversation, and she just spoke to me today and said, you wouldn't believe how it clicked in my head and how it's changed me for every day. It's not something that's rare for me to hear. It's so simple that it resonates, and it's so true that it resonates, and it's so beautiful that you can't not go away and do something about it. It's not in your book. It becomes a part of who you are. So what are we talking about? I'm only going to be talking about one little section of this pie, obviously, physical activity, not because I don't think all the others are equally important and not because I don't think all the others are areas that Mini Habits work in, just because I like to break it into my area of expertise and give you guys examples. Okay. So like I said, this is not the perfect pie of wellness and health. You could add breathing, you could add posture, you could add relation, you can add whatever you want. To me, those are beautiful. You want to add something to my pie? What do you want to add?
Self-esteem.
I agree. I actually like that.
Because when you exercise and feel all the benefits, it really does build your confidence
Yeah.
and your view on the
Yeah.
world.
But I think also you need self-esteem to believe that you can and deserve the change. I think it works both ways. It's a benefit as much as a predecessor. But I agree with you. I think self-esteem should be an important part of the wheel. Yeah, go?
What's the word ingredient?
Oh, calm. Calm because I used to write stress there, but I was like, why do people want to generate stress? But I really meant avoid stress, so now I write calm. So I'll read them to you. Sleep is in purple. Over here, we've got food in red. We've got blue, hydration, because everyone knows water's blue. Calm in green, because nature's calming and green. You guys think I put no thought into this talk, but I did. Okay. Then there's physical activity. Okay? So let's break it down into its components. So if you were to understand physical activity, we know generally, and this is very general, there are basically 4 components. What are the 4 components? Okay, incidental exercise, which is just our day-to-day stuff. I don't agree that every single person should be doing 10,000 steps, but I don't mind it as like a ballpark. You know, people who are doing a bit less could maybe be inspired to do a bit more. People who are doing more can maybe feel like, you know what, at least I feel like I'm moving today. It's not a bad ballpark, okay? So that's the general recommendation, 10,000 steps a day. And if you ever want to measure it, just grab a phone or go online and buy a $1 pedometer, wear it for a day and just see how much you generally get. Okay, it's very simple, okay? A pedometer, like a step counter. I don't know what you guys call it, yeah. Yeah, step counter, cool. All right, then there's aerobic. What's aerobic? Aerobic's like exercising heart and lungs, okay? So that's like walking, jogging, what else? Swimming, water aerobics, yoga to a degree, maybe high intensity yoga. Pilates, definitely. Bicycle's amazing. Cool, that's aerobic. So when we talk about aerobic, the recommendation for our general population is 30 minutes to an hour, okay, of moderate to high. So that's respectively. If you're doing high intensity, it's 30 minutes a day. If you're doing moderate, it's 1 hour. On most days. What's most days? That's every day but Shabbos. That's most days. I think pretty much that's what the ACSM American, I don't know. No, you don't think they meant that? I feel like they were like, and God said rest, so we better not mess with the rest day. I don't know, maybe not. Then there's resistance, okay? So what's happening with resistance? Resistance training is, to a degree, lifting weights, but it's also anything that challenges your muscles. So some people do balance training. What's balance training? Like single leg stands, heel to toe walks, and that would challenge their muscles. Therefore, to them, that is resistance training. They're not getting breathless, so it's not aerobic, okay? But they're challenging their muscle. Getting up and down from your chair. Pilates is a beautiful example of resistance training. I know they do a lot of that there. Anything that really challenges your muscle, and that's supposed to be done 2 to 3 times a week, 20 to 30 minutes. That's incorporated into your incidental exercise. So don't feel like this is just becoming like a life of exercise with nothing else to do. Then there's flexibility. Flexibility is stretching. That can be anything from like yoga to just, I wake up every day and just do stretches. It's very simple. I love it. It gets my day started. I kind of do it before davening, sometimes in the middle, which is not so great of my davening, but definitely while I'm waiting for my coffee to boil, okay? Pretty much, that's the recommendations of what we should do. And I would recommend anyone looking at their physical activity in 4 components because they all have different benefits. And if you look at the exercise prescription sheets I gave out, they are all used in different ways to manage, treat, and prevent certain illnesses and diseases. Then what do? You need to ask yourself like a benchmark question. Where am I today? Okay? So where am I today is, I'm just doing an example of myself. As embarrassing as it is, I work on a computer and I wish my numbers looked better so you'd all be like inspired, like, wow, look at Jules, she's so fit, she's so exercised. But no, I need to improve as much as everyone else. So 6,000 steps a day is my average, not including Shabbos, obviously. Aerobically, I do play soccer Sunday nights. That's like high intensity, definitely once a week. Resistance training, I have just stopped recently because I just went away and came back and I haven't got back into my routine, so that's 0. And then flexibility, I do daily, like I said, okay? And yes, I will try and improve the time I do my flexibility choices at. Okay. So what's my potential next mini habit? If I know the ideal, if I know my benchmark, I know where I'm at. What's my next potential mini habit? You would think I would choose a mini habit from each one. Because, I mean, I'm Jules, I'm Superwoman, I can do everything. Wonder Woman, I forgot, I thought I was Supergirl. But anyway, we'll work on my character. The point is, a mini habit needs to just be from one area and needs to be one tiny thing. Okay, that one tiny thing needs to be your lowest low. Okay? So when you're rewiring, the only way to rewire something is to do it repetitively. And what's the other word? If it's repetitive, it also has to be starting with a C. Consistent. I was sending it out there. I was like, someone say it. Someone say it. And then she said consistent. So it needs to be repetitive and consistent. In order to cause adaptation, it needs to be, in order to cause physiological adaptation, it needs to be challenging, but it doesn't need to be challenging to change your brain. Okay, so we're talking 2 different things, but it's a good point. Okay, so if I were to choose something that isn't challenging, and just by the way, what was your name? Edith. One of the ways people make a mistake when they want to start being more physically active is they think if it's not challenging, then it's not worth it. And if they think if it's not challenging, it's not worth it, they end up choosing something that's too big, and that it actually works against their neurobiology and it works against their physiology because everything pops up in red lights. Okay? So we want to work within the science and then use that to build our compound interest on to create something that is challenging. So for me, I thought a really good place for me to start to get back into my exercise routine, because you guys saw that I do no strength training and I'm a personal trainer, and that should not leave this room, that I will do 1 push-up daily. Who thought I was going to say that? Oh, I knew you weren't going to be happy with my choice. She's like, what? That's not hard enough. Do you guys agree that's not hard enough?
But it gets you started.
Beautiful, beautiful. Okay. So remember, I'm trying to use this as a platform for behavior change. I know that if I were to go tomorrow and say I'm going to now add into my very busy schedule that I was just telling Tyrone about, an amazing chiropractor who you should all see. I was just telling him like what I'm doing this year, and I was like, there's just so much going on. There's this. And if I were to tell myself I'm going to go to the gym once a week, or if I'm going to tell myself I'm going to do a 30-minute, it's just, and it's my profession, and I preach it, and I'm telling you, even I'm not going to do it. okay? Consistently for the rest of my life. This is what I'm talking about. I could do it for a few weeks. So I'm saying the best way for me to do this, if I'm really going to put into practice what I preach, is every day, I'm going to put an alarm on my phone about 10 o'clock. It's going to go off, and I'm going to drop down and do one push-up. I'm actually very lucky because I have my yoga mat already out on the floor for my stretches, and it's actually one of my cues. By seeing it, it makes it more likely for me to get down there and do my stretches. But the point is, I do my one push-up. When I'm down there, do we all agree that if I feel really good after my one push-up, I'm allowed to do more? Yeah, I don't have to stop just because I did my one, right? And if I feel really, really good after doing as many as I can, I'm allowed to do 3 sets of as many as I can, okay? But do we all agree that on my worst day, no matter what, I still have to do at least one? Why do I have to do at least one?
Then you get out of the habit.
Beautiful. Because then I lose the wiring connection. If I don't have the wiring, I don't have the benefit of the exercise, because the benefit of the exercise only comes from my brain having the habit, then my body having the result of consistent, repetitive exercise. Okay, so I have a new lowest low that I'm now putting on the table with you guys. You can all call me at 10 o'clock every night and ask me, am I doing my one push-up? And I will be able to tell you the truth, whether or not it's happening or not. I'm going to take this one on because I really believe that if I have this one, then there's a very good chance in 2 months I will get to this stage. I will get to a stage where something has become a habit. But what is that? How will I know that my push-ups are now a habit? Anybody? How will I know it's a habit? You mentioned one amazing one.
When you do it without thinking about it, when you just sort of, it becomes part of what
When like 10 o'clock comes and I'm like twitching and I'm like, what haven't I done? What haven't I done?
It just becomes part of what you do during a day.
I'm a one push-up kind of girl. What do I, okay? Anyone else? How do I know when I'm like ready to take it to like a push-up and a sit-up? How do I know when I'm ready for my next go? Neely's like pulling a face like, you didn't prep me for this, but I'm going to give this a shot in public.
Is it when your resistance is lower?
Beautiful, beautiful. It's like she teaches behavior change. So similar to that. Okay. So it's more natural, this is what you're saying, it's more natural to do it than it is to not do it. You're basically saying it's the default. Okay? Do we all agree that when something is the default, me brushing my teeth does not use self-discipline. I'm not even motivated. Trust me, I'm not sitting there going, oh my God, my mom's a dentist and Stu's going to be so proud, and I'm not thinking my teeth are going to be so clean when I'm older and this is going to prevent dent. I'm really not thinking that when I'm brushing my teeth in the morning. I'm thinking, if I do this, then I can get dressed, do my stretches, pray, and get out the door to what I need to do. It's my default. We all agree? Okay? Next one. You don't worry about doing it. Okay? So when you stop thinking, how much bread have I had today? What am I allowed to have? When you stop worrying about it, when it's just done, that's a sign it's a habit. It no longer feels like a great accomplishment. When it becomes normalized. So when I'm not standing up here telling you how amazing I am for doing one push-up a day, which I haven't done yet, but there will be a day when I stand up here and tell you how amazing I am. When I stop thinking that that is amazing, that's when I also know I'm ready to add, I don't know, a plank, okay? And when it requires little to no willpower, I think that's also what you were saying, but I think that relates to it also being a default. When missing a day only happens for a really good reason and you don't use excuses to justify it. And the last one, which you said beautifully, when it's fun. Okay? And there is laughing yoga at the back, so if you do want to have fun and jump straight to the habit, I'm sure you can like bypass some of the systems. I'm a big believer in joy being a great foundation for habits. Okay? So what I'm hoping to leave you guys with is something so simple, so painfully simple, that it took me so long to discover, but I really hope it makes a difference in your life and you leave today at least thinking of one mini habit that you're just going to try. And whether or not you say it out loud, say it to a friend, give me a call and say it to me, I really hope that it does make a difference in your life, because that's why I do these talks, just to make difference in people's lives. But find your benchmark, look at your health, look at your exercise, break it down, choose one habit, then make it the smallest thing you can think of. If you thought one push-up was small, if doing that one push-up meant I had to pull out my yoga mat to do it, I would say make the habit just pull out the yoga mat and see if you want to do a push-up. You get me? Like make it tiny. Then create your plan, which is like setting an alarm, choosing a cue, making sure that it's set in your schedule, and then put it into action and watch the beauty flourish. Because when you're in line with your mind and you're in line, so when you're doing things in line with not just spirituality, but your neurology, and you're doing something in line with also your physiology, things happen. It's not so hard. You're not breaking your head trying to open up the pill packet that you just can't open, okay? And I'm going to finish off with, if anyone does, I've got 5 minutes and I'm finishing off. That's got to be a record. If anyone does have any more questions, I am beyond excited to talk about any of this stuff. I talk about it all the time. I've got students that I teach personal training to. I've got clients that I preach this to. I run wellness courses that I'd love you guys to start joining for your communities, to start getting into the idea of supporting each other to be healthier in realistic, scientifically based ways, and connecting to professionals in your community. I have a website that connects people to trainers, and I just have a lot of love for helping people, so please don't hesitate to be in touch. I thank you guys for being and listening.
Does it matter if you do it first thing in the morning or the last thing at night?
Yeah, so I actually read a study on that. Food does have a bit of a difference when you eat it. Exercise, although there are differences in release of hormones throughout your day, therefore there is reason to take that into consideration. I would say on the biggest picture, whenever is easiest and most enjoyable for you to do it, you will get more benefit doing it then than looking at those fine details of like circadian rhythm, hormonal release, and when's going to give you that minuscule benefit, extra benefit. It's like someone looking at the Kabbalah of the Torah before just reading Pshat. Like, get it, and then when you're so perfect in your exercise that you're looking for an edge to compete in the Masters Olympics, then come to me and I'll find the best time of day for you to exercise. Yeah, you like that? Awesome.
Apropos of that, does exercise before bed prevent sleep?
You have to try it for yourself. For some people, it is actually it wakes people up, but different kinds. High intensity has been known to be the most enlivening style of exercise, whereas deep breathing, slow movement yoga can be quite relaxing. It depends what type is number one. Number two, everyone is different, so try it yourself. Number three, if that is your best time, try as best you can to do it at your best time, and only then change it to another time. Go, Nils. And thank you for your help, by the way. I thought you spoke great.
So it's really funny that you brought the one push-up example,
Oh, yeah?
because my sister did exactly that. Like, I was always very athletic, and my sister was not. And so what she did was she was doing one push-up a day until she was going to get to, like, the ability to do 5 push-ups. That
Yeah.
was her goal. And I was just like, in my head, I was thinking that's so lame.
But you told me the story about your dad.
No, I know, but this is many years
Oh,
ago.
okay.
This is
I was
before-
also naive.
She did, and I was thinking that this is so lame, because like 5 push-ups is so easy from my personal perspective. Anyway, so this is what she did, and it was like miraculous.
Yeah.
Because she started doing the push-ups really slowly in her office, like
Yeah.
any moments that she had a chance.
Yeah,
And then now, if you took a look, that was exactly what
the smallest, yeah.
she needed.
Because when something's real, it works. It's not even exciting. It's like someone saying breathe,
Right.
you know?
But it was exactly what she needed, so it was like the best suggestion to just do one thing at a time,
Yep.
get really good at that one thing.
And you'll be surprised where it will take you. I mean, Belle's learning this example beautifully. Yep.
What kind of exercise would you suggest besides a push-up?
No, the push-up was just me an example. Then the example would be just doing one sitting up and down from your chair. I mean, that's a beautiful example. I mean, that's what you told me you're doing. The example would be just focusing on your posture, for a minute a day. The example would be walking 20 extra steps around the block. The example, that's a great question because I should have actually given more examples of what a mini habit is. It's a really good question, and I'm happy to actually type out lists if you tell me the area you want to work, and I'll give you examples of what a mini habit would look like. It could be waking up and doing one stretch, or every time you're at your computer doing one stretch, and that leading into a healthier posture and healthier stretching routine for your life. Does that help?
What I started doing many, many years ago when I knew I would have to be sitting for a long time is I set timers every hour.
I have timers. I have a habit timer.
Every hour, so if nothing else, I had to at least get up to shut it off. But, while I'm up,
Beautiful.
I'll also get some water, or I'll also,
Yeah.
maybe I'll take 2 minutes and chop the vegetables, which tonight they'll be done, I don't have to deal with it. And I found that I'm now in the habit of, if I'm sitting for an hour, I sort of go, wait a minute, I'm supposed to be getting up now.
Yeah, because it's your default.
And it's become my default.
Beautiful.
So whenever friends say, how do I get started in exercises, I give them a timer.
Beautiful, beautiful. So that could be their first step.
Else, but just walk around your
Their first step could just be getting used to hearing the timer and doing nothing. That could literally be a first step, just having the timer in their life. The second step, once they get used to hearing the time, would be once they hear the timer, maybe drink a cup of water.
That's right. Or
Just
2
one
minutes
tiny
of
thing.
stuff in the apartment.
I'm telling you, it seems so silly, but if you take this away and try it, just try one, don't try many, and you don't come back next year, please God, they'll ask me to talk again, and I'll talk about something even more interesting, but you try just one thing, and you don't come back next year and tell me that it's changed your life, I will be highly surprised. Thanks, guys, for listening.